This man uses hypnosis to make women do whatever he wants, and also give them nightmares. Pretty spooky. We begin with the woman urgently calling Detective Wade Rollins. It's night, so Wade doesn't answer. Andrea looks pretty upset and scared and asks to call her back. She's panicking. It feels like someone's watching her. Andrea enters an elevator when suddenly she gets a call from an unknown number. She hopes it's the detective, but it's a strange dude saying, "This is how the world ends." Nah man, we had passed that phase in 2012. No one believes in apocalypses today. But the world will end for Andrea. The elevator begins shrinking and his screaming Andrea turns into a raspberry toast. Possibly. Let's forget about this for a while. Meet Jenn. She came to a party with a water plant instead of a wine bottle she just drank. It's okay. No one will judge you on a Friday evening. Luckily, I have 7 Fridays a week. Bad news. Some guy Brian is at the party too. Jenn considers her options for a moment and finally decides to join the party. There's too much wine in her to stop at this moment. Alcohol and ex-boyfriend? Perfect mixture. Gina introduces Jenn to Dr. Collin Meade, her psychiatrist. She immediately suggests Jenn have an appointment too. I don't need to be a doctor to see Jenn as an alcoholic, so yeah, why not? Gina, her boyfriend Scott, Jenn, and Brian have small talk. They're into some software engineering, computer stuff. Don't ask me what exactly. I only know how Bitcoin miners work. Learned it the hard way. Dr. Meade joins, because the situation couldn't get any more awkward. Brian wants to take a bite of a snack, but Jenn screams, stopping him. There's sesame in it, and Brian is highly allergic. Nice save. Dr. Meade heads out of the party and leaves his contact info to Jenn. After witnessing her finish her 3rd bottle of wine in a day, he believes she'll make the perfect potential client. Don't show him my floor full of empty bottles then. While Jenn is waiting for her Uber, Brian approaches and thanks her for saving his life. Brian tries to discuss their past relationship, but Jenn is not in the mood. Then, Brian offers a ride home. Bad idea, girl. You're too drunk to drive with your ex. And they clapped. Classic. The next day, Glennon says Jenn must go for therapy. Unemployment, clapping with the ex, not mentioning alcohol for some reason. Finally, Jenn gives up and accepts help. They call it the first step. Jenn comes for a consultation. Some badass office Dr. Meade got. For some reason, it resembles 50 Shades of Grey, but maybe it's just me. And my ex. Never mind. During the consultation, we find out everything was not so easy between Jenn and Brian. They met in college, were living together, and were happily engaged. Jenn was 6 months into pregnancy when she had a stillbirth. After the tragedy, she didn't know how to move on with Brian. That made Dr. Meade more interested. He closes his notebook and offers hypnotherapy. Oh, okay, I thought you were a real doctor. Jenn is skeptical too, but Dr. Magic calms her down, saying she'll have control of her subconscious all the time. So the session begins. Relax. Imagine you're in a peaceful forest. You get the drill. A moment later, boom, finished. Jenn thought it was like 3 minutes, but an hour had passed. 3 months passed. Jenn meets with Gina and shares her happiness. She went for hypno sessions once a week for 3 months and feels much better. It's strange, but Gina asked for a hypno session and never got it. It seems it's only for the chosen girls, right? Our basketball coach in high school also had those private sessions with the chosen boys after classes. I've always wished he had chosen me. Jenn has a dream. She's in bed enjoying a morning with a man near her. Wait, it's Dr. Meade. Ha, now I understand why she wants those sessions so much. Was it just a dream? The next day, Jenn enjoys shopping while stumbling into Dr. Meade. Coincidence? She shares great news with him. She got a new job and enjoys yoga and meditation. Everything's great now. But she didn't go for therapy for 2 weeks, so doctors suggested they should have a cup of coffee. During the coffee time, Mr. Meade opens up more about himself. He's 46, single, and the love of his life tragically passed away. But Meade has chosen not to be a victim and continues with his life. He also suggests Jennifer should not consider herself a victim. She should invite Brian for dinner and discuss their past relationship. Jenn is surprised but agrees. The same evening, she calls Brian over. While shopping for the date, she gets a call from an unknown number and suddenly, boom, she's in a trance. She hears clocks ticking and wakes up in her home with food on the table. She hears choking in the bathroom, goes there and finds Brian. He's lying there unconscious. So that's how you deal with your past? Brutal. Jenn visits Dr. Meade, sharing her fears. She feels she might be responsible for what has happened. The whole process felt like a hypnotic session. Dr. Meade calms her down. It's okay, girl. You control everything. Just relax. Don't let the fear win and enjoy our work. Oh, I was confused at first, but now I'm 100% sure something is wrong with this so-called doctor. But Jenn agrees and keeps getting weird dreams with Meade. Oh wow, it looks like a deep trap. Back at home, Jenn finds sesame oil and it got her remembering how Dr. Meade called her before she went to the store and said, "Carry the fire." She recalled buying sesame oil and adding it to the salad, causing an allergic reaction for Brian. Now she realized. Jenn browsed for Dr. Meade and found spooky news about women disappearing. Some woman named Andrea even asked for a restraining order on her Dr. Meade. Whoa, that was vast. If only she googled the guy before using his services. She also learns that there were causes of people using hypnosis for crimes and stuff. So you can't control yourself under hypnosis after all. Not a huge discovery for me, to be honest. I keep eating 3 packs of Takis per day without remembering it at all. It always felt like it was demons, but maybe it was just Dr. Meade playing mind tricks on me too. Jenn brings the facts to Gina's table, but she doesn't see them. Of course, she's not the one who's sleeping with him. A girl files a restraining order and after 3 days, dies. accuses Meade of stalking and emotional abuse. Nah, just a coincidence. Finally, Jenn pulls out a joker, a check from the store. Well, at least Gina didn't accuse Jenn of murdering someone and trusted her. The girls meet with Detective Wade, who was the one following the case of Andrea, the girl from the beginning. A detective opens up for the girls. Yes, he worked on the case. He suspects Meade of hypnotizing Andrea and getting her into extreme fear, which caused her to die of a heart attack. There's even a videotape of Andrea getting a call from an unknown number and dying after. So what does the detective suggest? Stay away from the therapist. That's it. Not much, but the girl should be good. After leaving the detective, Gina shares that she also did therapy with Meade this week. Oh, you perv. Don't answer calls from unknown numbers, girls. But Jennifer believes the best defense is attack, so she pays a visit to Dr. Meade with a tape recorder turned on. Look how self-confident she became. Thinks she can play mental games with the man who made her kill a dude with hypnosis. Maybe the therapy indeed works. She asks for hypnosis again. Why don't you go straight and ask him for some clapping services? Those allegories don't work anymore. Meanwhile, Detective Wade can't stop thinking about Dr. Meade's case. He goes through Andrea's files and searches for the cases connected with hypnosis. After a clapping session, hypno party, Jenn goes to a car and listens to the tape. Turns out, Meade knew about her plan. During the hypnosis session, he asked about Jenn's plan, whether she trusted him, and why she was doing it. He also asked why Jenn came to the police station with Gina. You perv followed them. And Jenn gives up everything, that she doesn't trust him and wants to record this to find out what's going on. You got it. Meade even calls her my love. Oh man, why would you say that if you know you've been recorded? Guess the man has too much self-confidence. Jenn realizes she's in deep crap and goes straight to Gina's house. She calls her friend, but Gina just left the house and is busy driving a car and ignoring everything that happened in the police station, I suppose. She's like, sorry dear, I have some other stuff. A hypnomaniac can wait. Gina gets a call. From who? You guessed it. Mentalist. Dr. Meade says a secret code. This is how the world ends. And suddenly, Gina sees a huge tarantula climbing on her. That isn't good because she has arachnophobia. In a panic attack, Gina speeds up and meets the truck. Jenn was lucky to catch the accident scene. At his office, Dr. Meade listens to some classy opera tunes and enjoys scotch. The scene looks more like a regular day of a Nazi officer, but maybe that's only because we already know this guy's a psychopath. Detective Wade comes to break the sad news. Gina and her husband died in a car accident. Together, they drink scotch and perform some mind games. While pouring himself another shot of scotch, Wade steals pliers for ice. Wade reveals he found some patterns in Meade's clients. 3 girls shared physical characteristics, and all 3 are dead now. Meade smells his pants are beginning to burn and gently asks Wade to go home. And he does. Whoa, pliers and free booze? That was a great afternoon. The same evening, Wade visits Jenn. He shares what he's learned so far and leaves Andrea's file for Jenn to investigate. Wade promises to get Meade's fingerprints by tomorrow, so until then, she should stay low and be careful. Being careful means not locking your door and opening it wide away. Here's Johnny. Doc. Jenn tries to run, but Meade demands her to stop, and she stops like an obedient puppy. Whoa, I should learn hypnotic moves too. Meade acts like an offended teen who didn't get to clap on the first date. I invited you in. I listened. What do you want? It would be nice if you didn't kill all her friends, bro. Meade acts like a creep, smelling the girl's hair, then tells her to relax and turns the free spell over. Jenn calls Wade, who just came home but has his phone off. He puts it to charge and enjoys some dinner when hearing some creaks. That's the villain sound. He checks around the house but finds no one and proceeds to watch the crime show. Gets me wondering, do cops really come back home and watch crime scenes? It's like a trucker coming home after a hard day and playing Euro Truck Simulator. Hey look, behind, it's some creepy girl with a knife. Wait, I remember her. She was one of Meade's patients. A possessed lady attacks Wade and seriously injures him. Still, Detective recalls it's actually his job to hit women until they die and wins the fight. Wade gets to the hospital and Jenn visits him. She has a bright idea. Get her to another hypnotist who will make her remember Meade's sessions and then use it as evidence against the psychopath. Wade is not so sure. No strong evidence it is. Jenn still goes for it and visits another hypnotist. This time it's a woman, so we hope no abuse will be involved. Jenn gets into a trance and starts remembering what happened between her and Meade. Suddenly, she gets choked. Hypno Woman tries to wake her up and fails. From the dream, we learn about Meade's mentor, Dr. Xavier Sullivan. Jenn sees a date with Meade. He gives her a bracelet with the name of his ex-love. Finally, Jenn wakes up. Apparently, it was some mental defense that Meade had placed in case someone else would try to hypnotize her. Wait, guys, let me know in the comment section. Does hypnosis really work that way? I'm getting some doubts now. Anyways, Jenn did remember something. A house address of Xavier Sullivan. Before Jenn leaves, Hypno Woman places a counter trigger in her to defend herself from Meade's manipulations. Jenn Googles Xavier Sullivan and finds out more about him. He was recruited by the CIA to work on the MK Ultra program. Ouch, I know about this one. Pretty spooky and real. Jenn finds Xavier's house and pays him a visit. She knocks at the door but no one answers. The door's wide open so she enters the house. There she finds a photo of Meade with his wife. Suddenly, the dude is right behind her. That spooky bastard. How does he move so silently all the time? Splinter Cell on minimum wage. Guess what? Xavier was Meade's father. Professor X and his family. Meade turns Jenn's sleeping mode on and she's off. Meanwhile, Wade gets fingerprint results and they belong to a man named Julian Sullivan. Indeed, Professor X's son. Wade calls Jenn. She's at Julian's office. Wade calls the police and sends them over. Whoa, that timing was perfect since Sullivan just returned. While the police reach the place, Sullivan takes a moment to share his passion with Jenn one more time. Your appearance, your scent, is he talking about a woman or a dog? Sullivan shares that there were more women, but they weren't quite as good as Jenn. In this very moment, police storm in the office, but no one is there. Jenn wakes up. She's in Sullivan's house. Another darn magic trick. Wade understands what's happening and calls the police to Sullivan's home. Turns out, Sullivan has planted memories of his time with his wife into Jenn's head. That's how strong he wants to replace his wife with Jenn. Say what you wish, boys, but that's dedication. I can't see how you'll deal with her frozen 100% of the time, but the man did his work. So the reason why Sullivan kept it for so long is that today is their wedding anniversary with his wife. He gives Jenn a bracelet he used to give to his wife. Just when Doctor was about to kiss her, Wade arrives. And of course, he's not the Splinter Cell type at all. So Sullivan gets alarmed. Wade searches the house for Sullivan while Jenn tries to break off her mental trap. Wade fights with Sullivan while Jenn manages to release herself. She finds the boys fighting on the floor, but Meade commands her to sleep. So she slowly passes out. But before falling unconscious, she grabs the gun while Meade chokes Wade. Boom, gunshot. Wade wakes her up. Turns out she did indeed shoot Wade. He calms her down saying, "You're gonna be fine, my love." Oops, the red flag again. Luckily, Jenn recalls the mental defense she learned from the Hypno woman. If Meade calls her my love, she ignores every trigger he puts into her head and will see the world around her for what it truly is. Jenn wakes up, punches Meade, and runs away. She finds Wade, whom she wounded in the shoulder. She grabs a gun from Wade's ankle and shoots Meade twice. 1 month later, we see Jenn again. She's got a fresh look. Nice touch. She visits Brian, who's still in a coma, and says they'll be moving to a new place together. She says sorry for distancing herself from him for so long. Jenn also visits Wade, who earned himself a promotion and now moves out of his office. He hands her a gift. It's a Better Sleep self-hypnosis tape. Ha, excellent joke, my dude. Too soon? Not for Jenn. She loves a good joke. Moral of the story? I will never see Professor X the same way.
Thanks for tuning into Recaps Movies. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the latest movie shorts we're covering. We're always on the lookout for new and exciting films to discuss, so don't be shy. Let us know your favorite movies in the comments below. We love hearing from you, and your suggestions help us create the best content possible. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.